name. I'd have to look it up. It's been a while. My girl's birthday is today. They're 15, so it's been a couple years since we read that series. I just got done reading the prequel to the Hunger Games.
There's a prequel? Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
I knew something more than the library kid. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes, it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it takes place when President Snow, before he's president, and he's just 18 years old. So you find out a little bit about Snow's background in life. Is everybody getting their cardboard or canvas pretty well covered at this point? I almost have mine completely covered. So this is what it looks like covered. I'm gonna flip mine around now. If you have any spots where it's kind of sticking up, you can just wedge your finger or paintbrush down under and smooth out that so it lays flatter. And if it raises up a little, it's okay. It just adds dimension to the project. Let's see, we need a signal when I know that we can go to the next step so that I'm not going too far ahead, but I'm not making you wait either. How about after you have your pieces glued down, you give me a thumbs up? Janice,
okay, I got mine.
All right. And Addison's working on getting hers. I see you have a friend next to you, Addison. Is somebody sneaking in a project and not showing a face?
Big brother doesn't want to be on the camera.
Oh, and is Big Brother's name Noah, or is that Dad's name?
No, it's Noah, yeah.
Okay, because his name's showing up on the screen. So you've been spotted, Noah. I'm going to be painting upside down so that you see it at the in the screen the right way. So it might look a little bit funny when I start. But the very first thing we're going to talk about after getting the paper down is some people like to sketch in what they're going to paint. I'm going to just paint it. If you were to draw on this paper now, it would be fine, but it wouldn't erase very well because pencil lead doesn't come up off of books or newsprint very well. So kind of one of those, you just have to decide how into perfection you are. I am not a perfectionist at all, so I'm A-okay with it being that way. So the vase can be any shape you want. The standard shape that mine's going to be, this is going to be kind of tall and thin, but almost like a V out on the sides. And as you do it, you're going to leave a couple lines like this where you don't do a solid black, but almost like an inverted half circle. That's going to be where your polka dots of the vase are going to go. And since they're white, they'll look a little bit better by outlining them like that. it almost looks like Swiss cheese, how the, you know, how it always looks like the mouse holes where they eat out the cheese. So I have 5 that are half circles on the outside edge. You can do as many or as little as you like. And then on the inside, I'm gonna freehand some full circles. See, it looks totally like a piece of Swiss cheese now. And after you get your vase and shape done, give me another thumbs up or blink your screen or something so that I know that you're ready for the second part of painting. I see Rachel. I see Ava. Noah's not going to show me his thumb.
Okay.
And Janice's okay.
Yep.
And if you don't want to show polka dots on the side, you can draw the line straight down as well. So I'm pretty loose as an art teacher because I want everybody to just enjoy and explore what they want and what they envision and see. For those that have done their dots and have drawn the basic outline of their vase, you could start filling in black into the large spot, the spot that's not the polka dots, just to color that in. And I'm sorry, I didn't mention, I always use these handy dandy paper plates as my paint palette. It's the cheapest paint palette I own. And sometimes if you store them in Ziploc bags, the paint will stay and you can use it again and again. Or you can use your mom's good china. I'm kidding. I'm sure I probably did once though. Rachel and Ava are laughing at me. I can hear them.
Mine looks like an apple.
Yours looks like an apple?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's nice. It's a different shape than you did the other day to go with your series for your basement. Your mom will have how many of these now?
3, 4, 5. 5.
How are you doing, Addison?
Good.
Good.
We're getting more paint on ourselves than on the paper, I think.
Well, that's okay. I always have people say, like, are those your paint clothes? And I say, all my clothes are paint clothes. It goes with my job.
And we kind of forgot to leave space at the top. Don't flowers go at the top?
The flowers will go at the top. Well, let me see your vase or painting. Can you tilt it up in a second and I'll look at it?
You left some, but just not a whole lot.
Oh, you left plenty of room. Look, mine's only this big too. I don't know if you see there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, plenty of room. No worries. You know what you call it when it's not looking exactly like a photograph? Abstract art. And then people never question you, you know? You just say, oh, it's abstract. It's not supposed to look like. These aren't still lifes. When I would teach the St. John kids art, I always quoted Bob Ross, you know, Mr. Famous Happy Tree Painter, and say, there are no mistakes in art, only happy little accidents. He was always so serene to watch. All right, my vase is filled in. You'll see that there's some spots that aren't as solid as others. Let me get it up there. And that's okay because, like I said, the cool part of this painting is they have, you want the print to show through. And after you get your black filled in, you stop and you don't fill in the white yet, because we're going to actually let the black vase dry a little bit before we fill in those white dots. You know, paint is awesome and it's vibrant and beautiful, but it bleeds into each other and mixes. So really, the only way you could get it to not do that is either to block it with like a wax crayon or a craypaw, a pastel, or to let it dry in between. And we'll be doing some of that today, going from one painting the vase to painting the flowers to back to painting the vase, back to the flowers, to let things dry as we go. This one has a dried example a little better where you could see like the white splotches on the black vase where the print comes through. I'll look for a thumbs up when everybody's done with the solid black in their vase.
I'm done.
All right. We are going to move on to a flower. I'm going to show you a couple different flowers. Now, clearly none of these were probably found out in your garden unless you live in Wonderland. I'm going to show you how to make a flower with petals that are big and fat, full like this, and some skinnier petals that droop down, and some blended petals as well. So the very first thing we're going to do though is you're going to pick out a couple different colors, and you're going to take one of your brushes and just make centers of all the flowers. Now, you can pick any color you want. So our flowers don't just have to have yellow inserts, although that was the first color I naturally picked up. And you're just going to twist your paintbrush around into a circle and then leave it. And you may decide that you want another flower that's going to droop over the vase over on the side. I wash and rinse off and blot my brush in between, but I'm using the same brush for most of this project. And we can make the stems droop over the side of the vase. So if you want to put some down lower, you can, or you can have them all standing up tall at the top of the vase. And you can do as many or as little as you want. Does everybody here know about mixing colors? Which colors to mix together to make? And Rachel, you hush. I see you smiling. So red and yellow make orange if you mix them together. Yellow and blue mixed together makes green. And then if you mix red and blue together, it makes purple. And I'm telling you that because if you don't have all the colors that you want for your painting, you can make some colors by mixing them together. Rachel doesn't know her colors, that's why she's laughing.
Wait, what's this color?
I think this is going to be a rather large bouquet today, so I just lost count. I think I have like 8 flowers. That should keep me pretty busy. Right now, it's just going to look like floating polka dots above your vase. So when you have, I don't know, the number of flowers you think you want done, give me the number of flower middles that you think you want done, give me a thumbs up. I'll see ya.
Got it.
I need one.
Good deal. The first flower we're gonna do, I'm gonna do some of the droopier petal ones that look like you only see the side of the flower. And I have a brush that's this size, I don't know. It's kind of hard on Zoom to explain, but it's a medium-sized brush. You know, it's not super skinny, but it's not huge like this one. So it's kind of in between. And let's see. Ava, pick a color.
Blue.
Blue? Okay. So my first flower petals are going to be blue. I'm just going to dip the ends of my brush like this. And I'm going to start and just press the brush down. And it's going to make almost like a little petal print. Just by doing that. I was telling the girls the other day that sometimes people don't like to paint and do things because they can't get the sizing right when they paint something. It's not as much control as when you draw. But if you're using the same size tool for everything, the petals will all, like the petals will all turn out the same size on your flower. That's one of our drooping flowers. And if you want a fuller petal, you can load your whole paintbrush. And you can either pull it in from the outside, or you can start on the inside and pull it out. And again, some of the print's gonna show through, and that's a good thing on this project. You're probably already tired of hearing me say that, but I don't want people to worry when they see that it's not as solid as maybe others. So the blues are what we're gonna call layer 1 of those flowers. So the blue ones are gonna be, for mine, are gonna be the first flowers that I come back to after I work on my white polka dots. So I'm gonna do another flower example now. Addison, pick a color. What's your favorite color? Pink? I could do pink. Do you know how to make pink? If I don't have pink on my palette and I want to do pink, I'm going to mix red and white together.
Uh-huh. Oh, look at it.
You know, it's raining.
All right, so we're going to do some pink petals for Addison. We're going to do some real tiny skinny ones. So I got a thinner brush for this, just to do lines. And for this one, I'm going to start at the inside and pull out. But I'm going to leave a little space in between each one. And I'm only going through it one time instead of brushing over and over again, because again, we're going to do a second and maybe even a third layer to the flower. And so the flower will build up as we go. So let's see. It's really light. Can you see the pink flower at the top up there? And then I like those droopy flowers, so I'm going to do another one of those droopy flowers where you only see, but this time I'm going to use the skinny paintbrush to do the press and pull up technique. And it makes a nice little point when you use the skinny brush to do that. Can y'all see those okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, Miss Janice, we're going to put you on the spot. Name me a color.
Red.
Red. That's my favorite color. My ultimate favorite. So this guy right here, let's see. Let's give him big petals. Now here's the funny thing is I envy those who can garden and grow beautiful things. I'm not one of them. So when I make up these flowers, I'm not going to be able to tell you if they're a tulip or a daisy. I do know what sunflowers look like. So I'm not going to name this flower. We're just going to call it big petals. You're going to go with your brush, start at the center of the flower, or not the center, but the outside of the center. And you pull out and turn it around so it makes kind of like a U-turn. And this big puffy flower is going to end up overlapping the skinny flower in some way, which is good because olive flowers are going to end up, I mean, they're all together in one bouquet. So there's his big fat petals. So layer one, you just have one color on representing the petals of each flower. All right, I'm almost all caught up with the centers having all petals. And then we'll go on to layer two of the flowers. Do I have anybody who's into gardening out there? Anybody grow anything?
Addie and Ballad.
Yeah.
What do you guys grow?
What do you got in your garden?
Potatoes, carrots, onion, lettuce,
Wow,
and
you're like a whole farmer's market.
We'll see if anything comes up for leaves.
That's amazing. I envy that talent. Does anybody remember the colors that we have to do first? Which flowers? Pop quiz.
The first one.
What was the first one?
I don't know.
the blue.
The blue with the yellow centers. So it's a little wet still, but not too terrible. So it's dry enough that now we can go through and we can do yet another detail. And what makes this particular project fun is all these flowers are mixed up with different patterns and things. So let's see. On this one here, we did dark blue, light blue all the way around. I started putting some dots around this red flower here in purple. There's some cross hatching. So you kind of more fun if you pick a color that's out of the ordinary to go with that flower. So I think for this blue flower, maybe it's not out of the ordinary because it's complementary, but I'm going to do some orange longer petals that stretch out in between each one of the shorter petals. And if you see it start to smear and you don't like it smearing, like maybe it wasn't 100% dry, you can still wait on yours. Don't feel like you got to rush through it. But that added yet another dimension to that flower. And then I'm stopping with that flower and moving on to the next flower. We'll give this little guy down here some accent dots around the edge of each petal. Just like that. That one's harder to see, but there's little dots by each petal. So you can think of some fun color combinations as you're going painting each flower. Some may even have black in them, which is different. I don't know. Do you ever see any black flowers? Not typically. The insides where the stamen and the pollen's at, but not typically the petals. Although I'm sure they can hybrid them now. I like the way that the black turned out on that center of that pink flower here. Kind of made the flower petals stand out more. And you can get creative and do different kinds of petals on one. So you could have fat petals and skinny petals on one flower. Anything to kind of make it have its own dynamic. So do I have any artists out there that like to follow exactly what the instructor is doing, or do you all like to do your own thing? I hear a chuckle.
I can't do exactly what you're doing, so I have to do my own thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a lot why I developed myself the way I did. And I think that was Janice speaking there.
Yes.
You know, every time I would watch what an instructor would do when I was taking my art courses and things, I just would see it differently. I'd go a little rogue. So now my friends all tease me when we do projects together, you know, whether it be crafts or whatever. They always say that I don't know how to follow instructions because I'm always kind of winging it and doing my own thing, but I think that's okay. And then you have I always have the type of kid in my classroom. There's always one that wants to make it exactly like Miss Jill. And will to a T make it that way. Sometimes I find I have to not have an example of the project because they won't, you know, kind of think for themselves as far as color or, you know, design so much as they want to do it just like mine. So after you've got like another detail down on each flower, it would be a good time to then take a break from the flowers, and we're going to go back down to those polka dots, and that's when we're going to do our white. And it's just a really light coat of white on top. You have to remind me not to put my dots so close to my flowers next time. And I really like the white for showing through that print. So I only do one swipe through with the dot as, and if it leaves some print behind, then so be it. Is Caitlin still with us, or is Miss Blaker, making her work her fanny off?
She's making me work really hard. I wish I was painting like you guys.
Oh man, but you can't because you're getting our programs up and running, and we love that.
Your artwork is looking great. I've loved seeing everybody's images.
I think they're cool. I was telling Laura the other day that I would love to see them all displayed in one area because they all have the common ground of having a black and white base, but yet different shapes and styles, and the flowers are all different. I think that's really neat, like to have that cohesiveness, but yet its own identity in each painting.
Absolutely.
So maybe we should have, if those of you who would, if you would post yours either on Facebook and share it with us, or send us a picture of your artwork to our email. You can send it to iplprograms@gmail.com. And then maybe we could put all of them up together. That would be really fun.
Think you all could do that? I think you can. I want to hear a bunch of yeses.
I saw a few thumbs up.
All right. I know, I look down at the paint palette and then I'm not seeing people. Like, you're so used to people talking that when they're on this Zoom thing and they don't talk, you miss it. I kind of feel like I'm the preacher in church calling you out to see if you're paying attention to the sermon. I can crack that joke. My dad's a preacher. I have almost, so I did my white dots, and now I've got going back through and doing some more details on the flowers. Now, when I would be painting this at home, I wouldn't have like a timeline of, this is a program and it's an hour long. So keep in mind that if you've worked it and you want to kind of pause, you can, pause and then come back to it. You don't have to do a painting all at once. There's no rules on that. In fact, this one I like to say is kind of like a Netflix painting, because you paint a little and then you go watch an episode. Maybe we shouldn't advertise Netflix. And then you go watch a program on your local library, DVD selection. And then you come back and you paint a little more and you go back and forth between the two. But the first one I did, I kind of worked at it all day long. I'd paint and then I'd come back and a little more. Because like I said, with this paint, it's it'll mix easy if the paint's not dry. And if you like it to be like that, then great. But if you want the colors to stay solid, then you have to wait in between each one. So my flowers here aren't 100% done, but I'm going to show you stems and leaves before we have to go. This part always makes me nervous, so get ready. I'm using a thin brush, the same thin one I've been using throughout. I've only used 2 brushes through the whole thing, plus my glue brush. And I'm going to drag the green paint across, or the paintbrush across the green paint, because I don't want to smash the bristles down on it, because I want to kind of keep a point. And you have to think about where these flowers are coming out of, right? They're coming out of the vase. So like that stem just is not even a 1/2 inch long for my big fat red flower there. And this flower here, lucky me, it doesn't even need to show a stem because it's right at the top of the vase. But this blue and orange fella here, he's gonna have a little bit. And we're gonna need to drag another stem out to the purple flower on the side. And the stem for this pink flower is gonna come up behind the purple and black flower, but part of it's hidden behind this flower here. You won't see it. Now, I have no idea how that blue flower got all the way out there, because gravity-wise, not possible. But we're gonna do them like that, just to include them. Those are really wonky flowers compared to, as I always say, the stems always crack me up. You could press your paintbrush down on 2 sides of a stem to make your leaves. And not every stem has to have leaves. So you can keep adding flowers or adding to the flowers you have. Don't forget, you always have to sign your artwork. So, ready? We're gonna sign bottom right corner. I always do my initials, and then it's kind of fun. One of you do the year, and I'm just gonna put 20. That's so that when you're famous someday, you can sell that wonderful piece of artwork that you made with the library program. I'm still waiting for that moment. Are there any questions? Well, you want to see all 3 lined up together? See if I can get them. This will be an example of your online art show for the Independence Public Library.
Wow, those are awesome.
That looks really good.
Fun all together, right?
Very cool. So you also have to take pictures and send them to us or post them on Facebook.
We will do that. Thanks for having me, Laura.
Yeah. Can everybody hold theirs up? I'd love to see everybody's. Oh, fun.
There's those Blaker girls with the opposite vases.
Those are
Wow, those look so good.
Oh, I know
Nice.
you showed it. I didn't know if you would. Nice work, Addison. Mom, you're going to have great artwork on your walls. Is Janice going to reveal?
No, thank you.
I tried.
Well, thank you, everyone. It looks like you had fun and did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Would you all like a sneak peek at next time's project, or should we keep it secret?
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek? Okay. Let's watch I have it hanging on my kitchen door. See the dream catcher? I'll show you up close. Well, maybe if I know how to work my camera. It's made out of different colored yarn and feathers and a CD. The middle of it is a CD that I use to weave it.
Oh.
So we're gonna do that next time. Then you can have nice dreams.
Cool. So I believe the library has some extra CDs. So if anyone does not have an extra CD to use for it, just let us know and we'll be able to figure out a way, like curbside pickup for it or something. So just give us a call if you need one. So thanks, Jill.
Thank you all.
That was
Tell
awesome.
your
And
friends, have them come join us next time. Maybe it'll be another rainy day.
yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good week.
And Jill, you are the host, so you get to end the whole thing.
I get to end it. Bye.
Bye.